Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Following on with the Living Tomb formation that I'm currently painting, I want to have a quick chat about the army list, my initial thoughts of an army list anyway, and maybe, I suppose, frankly, probably get some feedback from you guys, see what you think. Why am I doing the Living Tomb formation? Well, first of all, I'm doing the formation primarily because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I wanted to purchase the Tesseract Vault stroke Obelisk just because I'm a huge Necron fan, and it's one of those models you just have to have in your army. I already had one monolith, so I went all out, got myself another monolith, and I thought, why not just play the Living Tomb formation? It looks like a lot of fun. The obelisk and 2 monoliths, wow, didn't really think about any army lists, etc., how I'm going to use the formation. So I've been thinking about it. I've got nothing on paper, this is just in my mind as such, but I wanted to share with you my initial thoughts. So I'm taking the Living Tomb formation because of the visual side of the 2 monoliths and the vault on the table. And like most of my lists that I make, the visual side of the army is what takes precedence. That's what I always think about first. I think about the visuals, work out what I think would look really cool on the table, and then once I've got that locked and loaded, I can then start manipulating my visuals into a workable army list. So I suppose the thing to do first is look at the Living Tomb formation and the special rules that it has. So the special rules are that it has to start in reserve, but the actual obelisk comes out automatically from reserve on turn 2. It does scatter, so one mishap and that's a problem, it's 300 points. But because you're bringing the vault down as opposed to the monoliths, the base is a lot smaller. The monoliths are 6-inch squares. Obviously we're talking about a normal flyer base, so you should be able to get it down a bit safer than you would a monolith. So even though you are going to scatter, hopefully, that shouldn't be a problem. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I mean, I've scattered 12 inches and lost monoliths before, so it is a possibility. But hopefully that won't happen. So we're going to bring down the Tesseract Vault turn 2. And then the 2 monoliths will be able to deep strike in and not scatter if they're within 12 inches of the vault. Now it does mean, obviously, if you're on a table which has a lot of terrain, deep striking these things in could be a problem, but that's why I'm a 40k. Now the one thing to note is that the monoliths do not come out automatically, so you do have to roll reserves to get them out on the table. Now I think ideally you do want them down turn 2. I mean, why wouldn't you want the vault, or the obelisk, and then 2 monoliths come straight down turn 2, because it would look awesome. So there's a few things obviously we can do. We could potentially take a defensive line with a comms relay to help the reserves, or we could take Nemesaur and use the Warlord trait, which gives us the +1 to the reserves roll. I suppose you could use a combination of both of those if you really wanted to, but I'm going to take my chances. I think I've decided probably Nemesaur is the way to go. I don't use Nemesaur that much, and he's a cool, good character, so I think Nemesaur is where I'm going to go with this list. That gives me, basically, unless I rolled a 1 with the 2 monoliths, they should come out. A double 1 is obviously can happen, but it's fairly rare generally. I may roll 1-1, but I should at least get at least 1 monolith out with the vault. So that's one of their special rules. The other special rule is, as soon as they deep strike in, the 2 monoliths can teleport a unit straight away through the portal from deep strike from any unit that's in reserve, which basically means that the vault, I keep calling it the vault, the obelisk, the monoliths, and 2 units coming out of the monoliths can come down all on turn 2, potentially. So I'm thinking, well, we got to make use of the rules, you know, so I've got to have something in reserve to come out of the monoliths. So I'm thinking, well, what can I take out? What can I bring out on the monoliths? Now I'm thinking warriors. There's obviously a lot of options, but my initial thought is the visual size, as I said. Visually, I'm thinking 20 warriors coming out on each monolith, because I think that would look so cool. You know, bam, the vault's down. Bam, the obelisk is down. Bam, bam, monoliths are down. Two massive squads of 20 warriors. Visually, I can see that. Yes, but when you actually look at how the warriors deploy out of the monolith, it doesn't look quite as visually pleasing as it does in my mind, because obviously they can only come out 6 inches. So 20 warriors coming out of 6 inches is a very small area. I imagine in my mind's eye that you've got the monolith and you've got this massive squad of 20 warriors all spread out in front of the monolith, on both monoliths. And the reality is that they're going to be squashed up and bunched up. But I don't know. I mean, that would look really cool. You do have the option obviously to run, so you could disembark and then run, but then you're not going to be shooting. And I think the way I want to go with this list, mainly because obviously the vault and the monoliths are quite shooty, so I want to make this a shooty army. I have my assault army with the flayed ones, so I'm going to go all out with shooting. Everything in this list is going to be shooty. So that's where I sort of started. I'm thinking Reclamation Legion, you know, to give me that 4+ RP roll. Then I have the benefits of ignoring crew stun and shaken, potentially regenerate, repair hull points. So I'm thinking Reclamation Legion, which means obviously Nemesis fits into that quite nicely. I'm going to need something on the table. I'm thinking of some more survivable units, and I'm thinking of Immortals. Gives me more troops choices to potentially have at the back of the field, where obviously there may be backfield objectives. Obviously the Vault and the Monoliths are going to be deploying probably around midfield, I would imagine. So I can have my Immortals at the back. It means that while everything else is in reserve, they're going to have their 3+ save, making them pretty survivable with the RP, 4+ RP roll, the 3+ save gives Nemesis somewhere to go. And I was thinking of that. That gives me my warriors and my Immortals. I just need some Tomb Blades. The Tomb Blades can deep strike. It is an option if I want a full deep strike army. And I was adding that up in my head. It's around 1800 points, which gives me about 200 points spare, which means I could take something like almost a distraction unit type unit with that 200 points, maybe a squad of destroyers. They can deep strike in. This distraction unit would go, basically I can imagine my Immortals at the back, the phalanx deep strikes in the central position, and then the distraction unit deep strikes behind in my enemy's deployment zone. And yeah, so I could have maybe destroyers, then come down, deep strike. I could even couple that with the Tomb Blades coming in, deep striking. I could possibly have a Catan, Transcendent Catan, deep striking in. I could have Death Marks, a unit of Death Marks coming in, shooting. I'd have considered flanking flayed ones, or even infiltrating flayed ones. But like I said, I want to make this army a shooty army. You know, everything in the army is going to be shooting. So that's my vision of the army. I think because of the way that the warriors come out of the monoliths, I think I can cut down on the quantity of warriors. 20 warriors just sounds really awesome, but I think in gaming terms it probably isn't the number to go for. I think maybe larger numbers than 10. So I'm thinking maybe 15 warriors. Feedback on this would be fantastic. All you overlords out there, have you played the formation? How do you think the formation should be run? What do you run with it? Bearing in mind that I'm playing a 2,000 point army, and the army is designed, or is going to be designed to work around the formation. You know, that's the whole idea of it. It's almost like a themed army. It's a formation themed army. So I've seen, for example, the Dark Artisan on his channel that they've been using the formation, but just with one monolith. But they've been using it in big points games, like 2,500 points, 3,000 points, where the formation is just another thing to have. Well, my formation is like the central thing of the army, it's the theme of the army. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. As I said, this is literally just initial thoughts for the list, so feedback always welcome. As I develop the list, obviously I'm going to keep you updated, so I'll have another video with the feedback that I get, maybe any changes that I do, and potentially by the next time that I do a video about the army, I'll have like almost a final draft of the list. We will see. Okay, so that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the little chat. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.